So the first step of buying a new home is getting your offer accepted. So let's pretend you've got that offer already accepted. First thing is congratulations. The next thing you might be wondering, well, how long before I actually get keys to the house? So the short answer is 30 to 45 days. Now, the longer answer, I'm going to break down a little bit of the process so that you can understand what that 30 to 45 days is. So once you sign a contract, you have about 7 to 14 days to have the house inspected by a professional licensed home inspector in the state of Connecticut. The home inspector will go through the house with you and will show you certain things, right? They're going to be inspecting the foundation and the structure of the house to make sure the house is structurally sound. They will look at the plumbing system, right? Because there's nothing worse than having it rain inside your house or not being able to use the bathroom because the toilet or the water doesn't work. So they're going to be inspecting the water system, your plumbing. They're going to inspect the electrical, right? They want to make sure there's no electrical issues. They're going to be looking at your HVAC or your heating system because I don't know about you, but myself, I like the heat on in the winter. I don't really want to camp out inside my house. Or I also like the air conditioning on in the summer. So the home inspector's job is to make sure that those systems are working. One piece of advice I would have is if you're buying a new home and you should be at the home inspection. And if you've never owned a home, have your home inspector show you where the shutoff valve for the water is, where the shutoff valve is for the hot water, where the furnace is, if there's a shut off or a turn off for the furnace, and where that is, uh, where the electrical panel is, and how to turn it off in the event you needed to. And same thing if you have gas, right? Because in an emergency, you're not going to know where these are, and that's the worst time to try to figure it out. And if you can make notes, I'd take a camera with you, take some pictures of those places so that it is very easy for you to find them in the future. After we get through inspection and let's say everything goes smoothly, you're moving forward, we're going to start on your mortgage. Your mortgage company and you are going to go through your entire financial life. They're going to look at things like how much you make in a month, how much do you spend in a month, what is your debt to income ratio, right? Which is how much debt do you have compared to how much money you make, your credit score, how long you've been employed, if you have cash in the bank, right? They're going to look through everything. If there's cash that you deposit, it's a big problem, right? So if you're planning on buying a house, do not do any transactions with cash until after we close. The mortgage company is also going to order an appraisal. This is to make sure that the property is worth what you think it is and what the bank thinks it is because they don't want to loan money to you more than the property is worth. At that point, they're going to say you have a conditional commitment. We need to verify a few more things. But one of the things they're going to start then is asking your attorney, hopefully my firm, to pull title. And I've got a great video explaining title and deeds in another video. I'm going to give you the quick down and dirty in this one. Be sure to watch those if you want to learn more about title and searches and deeds. Title search, very basic. We're going to go to the town hall, look at the land records to make sure that the person that's claiming to sell it is the seller, and going to make sure that if there's any debts on the property, that you're not inheriting them. And then if there's any restrictions on how you use the property, we can alert you to those. That's very quick. I go through a lot more detail in another video. Be sure to watch that. So after that, mortgage company says, great, your title looks good, your appraisal looks good, you have enough money to buy this house, we're going to approve you for your mortgage. Your attorney will schedule a closing. At that point, I will start working with the seller's attorney, and the seller's attorney and I will work to balance all the numbers so that everything is in order, and I'll look at the documents to make sure that the deed they're providing us with is accurate. We'll schedule a closing. You and I, or one of my team members and you, will sit down and do a closing where we'll explain all the documents to you. But before you do that, you're going to do a final walkthrough in your house. You're going to go through the house one last time to make sure that when the seller is moving out, nothing got damaged. If you had inspection issues you wanted resolved, that they were dealt with, right? If you asked for an outlet to be replaced, this is your time to find it. Or if, God forbid, you're still in the winter right now in Connecticut, pipes froze, you want to know that before you close. Because if you don't find out before you close and you close, it's your headache now. So you're going to walk through the property one last time to make sure everything's in order. Then you're going to come to my office, and my team and I will walk you through the closing documents. You'll sign about 100 to 150 pages. It takes us 45 minutes or so to go through those with you because we've read them enough times that we can explain them to you in plain English in a way that you understand them relatively quickly. And then we'll send the money to the seller's attorney, so that you get the keys to your new house and you get to start the fun part of moving then. So that is in a nutshell the breakdown of the 30 to 45 days. So if you're looking for a great closing attorney to help represent you on your next closing, be sure to give my office a call. Um, and also be on the lookout for those videos I discussed earlier, but I'm also going to have one coming out next week that talks about common delays in the closing process. Have a great day and congratulations on your journey to your new home.